This is Qtv News and I am Jenna Wasonko. Thanks for joining us. First, the main local, international and sports news headlines. On his Meet the People tour, President Barrow reached Nyamina East and West. And the tourism minister has encouraged Gambians to come back and register for next year's elections, but says registrations will not be accepted from non-Gambians. At its 2020 Congress over the weekend, the United Democratic Party elected a new executive, with Usainu A&M Dabo re-elected as Secretary General and party leader. Sharing Wonders Charity on Monday handed over the renovated Labour ward of the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital in Banjul. In business news, as COVID-19 forces us to adapt, restaurants are using QR codes instead of paper menus. We hear how it works. In sports news, a special night as FIFA handed awards to the best female and male players, and for once, the men's award did not end up with Messi or Ronaldo. Interesting. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. Now, President Barrow held meetings in Patesam in Nyamina East and Katamina in Nyamina West on Saturday as part of his ongoing dialogue with the People's Tour. Aliou Cisse has the rest of that.
Speaking at these meetings in Patesam and Katamina in Nyamina West and Nyamina East respectively, President Barrow advocates unity and oneness to advance the development of the country as he welcomes all those who have joined him and the NPP party. He promised the people that he will do all within his means to bring them developments that they have lacked in the previous two governments. Joining other local speakers, National Assembly member for Nyamina East, Umar Cisse, repeated the same concerns he had raised in the parliament that the people of Nyamina East have no development. He cited the lack of good roads, water, electricity and gardens among others. He also calls for the need for government to empower agriculture.
Nyamina East amuñ development soo jógee ko suntu alaaji nga ñëw Paate Sam nga dem Makka Nyamina nga dem Njaakunda nga dugg Mbayen nga dem Jaafay nga dem Kaolack yoon amul.
However, Hamad Nkeba, Minister of Tourism, claimed Honorable Cisse was among the MPs that voted against supplementary appropriation bill to implement development projects. Minister Ba guaranteed them a good water supply in 2021.
Ban in the supplementary appropriation 2020 pour defaral leen ay yoon jël ay réew mi Adama Barrow mu ne nañ ko génne ci fere del xaalis réew mi yëpp dugal ko ci yooni réew mi
Adama Barrow président Barrow ko yew ko do be bajo ñoo kan ya naati pour molia
moom wootewu ko wootewu ko de.
At the Katamina meeting, Honorable Biram Sow, National Assembly member for Nyamina West, appealed for a senior school in Nyamina West and the construction of access roads to their rice fields. Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, Minister of Health, spoke of the deplorable state of the health system before 2017, as most of the facilities were in a bad state. Health, he said, is very important to the government and President Barrow. He announced that CRR will get 5 new health facilities soon, while renewing commitment to continue upgrading Bansang Hospital. He reveals that efforts are on to refurbish the health facilities and to construct a new infectious treatment center in Farato. Minister Samate informed the people that the government has secured machines to recycle waste products from hospitals.
President Nata ako fonga banko lopitanol deda
lopitani rew mi fi fekk foog ñu liggéeyal
dulal bimbe je mini lal franol man si ngay siandi
place nga xamne ni lopitani eguñ fa ñu yokk
andu wodati sale
te lolu commencé nañ
kabrin kombo
mu ne depuis kombo
kata banko be kan
Ami Fabre, Minister of Agriculture, said her ministry was able to supply free seeds, milling machines and power tillers to the people to support them in their farming activities. Fatou Kinte, Minister of Women and Children Affairs, said the Women Enterprise Fund is meant to alleviate poverty. She urged the women to rally behind the president. The meeting in Nyamina Dankogo was cancelled due to a funeral in the community. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Following the tourism minister's comments in that the last story directed at Omar Cisse, the National Assembly member for Nyamina East, the assembly member called a press conference to refute the allegations. Tourism Minister Amat Nkeba, while encouraging Gambian citizens outside the country to come back and register for the 2021 presidential elections, said the government of the Gambia wouldn't accept the registration of non-Gambians during the voter registration set to commence in January. He was speaking at a meeting in Raniru in Same, and here is an excerpt.
The government of the Gambia under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow
Gambia Bankola Mansakunda Nyaton Komi Yalonko President Adama Barrow Kuntia
will not accept foreigners to be registered in the country for elections. The government will respect the rule of law and go by the dictates of democracy.
President Barrow Mansakunda Lua Milandi Abewole Punya Nomala.
We will not encourage any non-Gambian to participate in our elections. And this is the position of His Excellency's government and the government of the Gambia. What we are making very clear, Gambians wherever they are, those who live in Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Senegal, Togo, Ghana, in the whole sub-region, they have a right to come and be registered and vote in an election in this country because they are Gambians and they are welcome to do so. Being married in a foreign country or staying in a foreign country does not deprive you of a right to come and register and vote in an election in the Gambia. Let me make that clear so that the press know what to report and those who are waiting to hear to talk will know exactly what the position of Adama Barrow's government. Let it be categorically clear.
At its 2020 Congress over the weekend, the United Democratic elected a new executive with Usainu A.N.M. Dabo re-elected as Secretary General and party leader. In his acceptance speech, the UDP leader unveiled what he calls 7 high-priority areas that will define his and his party's manifesto in the 2021 election. Momodu Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
The United Democratic Party has ended a 3-day-long Congress marked by a frenzied political fanfare after delegates cast their ballots for a new executive. The outcome of the votes at the Congress sees both the re-election of the same faces into top executive positions of the party and the welcoming of new ones. The party's current leader, his deputy and the national president have all been re-elected.
Today is yet another historic day for all of us. We come to the end of our 3-day Congress 2020. We have been able to successfully conclude and usher a smooth transition of our national executive. I am happy that my dreams of seeing more young and able women join the National Executive Committee of the party.
I urge all the new executives from the wards, constituencies, regions, and national executives to be more committed than ever. As our task this year is to see a UDP government 2021, inshallah.
By all indications at this Congress, the task of this executive is to deliver on the promise of winning the next presidential elections for a UDP government. To lead the party on the road to the 2021 election, Usainu A.N.M. Dabo, the party's prospective presidential candidate, has outlined his priority areas of development, putting agriculture, youth empowerment, education, health, and the energy sector at the top of his agenda. The promise is to diversify these key sectors with more investment to improve the lives of Gambians.
We can no longer accept the status quo, and we have a huge task ahead of us that will require collective effort for every single Gambian, young and old. It is for this reason that I am reaching out and inviting all patriotic Gambians to join the United Democratic Party so we can collectively work for the type of Gambia we all yearn for and create a capable state for effective delivery of services.
The UDP leader prevails upon his party supporters to take the necessary proactive efforts on the road to 2021, which will involve preparations such as political mobilization to further strengthen their party base for the realization of their mission for winning the 2021 presidential election.
In concluding, I have three important takeaways for each and every one of us in this room, and to all those UDP supporters and sympathizers out there who have not been able to join us. 1, make sure you are registered. 2, make sure you persuade as many people as you can to register to vote. 3, make sure you and the people you persuade to register get up early morning on election day and vote for UDP. These 3 actions are very important. If we all leave this Congress determined to execute these priorities, inshallah, I assure you, we will have the best team in office who will spend their every waking moment executing your priorities, and we will have a better Gambia.
This Congress ended on Sunday and was followed by a political rally at Buffer Zone that was attended by thousands of the party supporters, where similar messages of the party's mission and vision were re-echoed. When the presidential election comes in 2021, the United Democratic Party will pose as one of the major challenges to President Adama Barrow, who until November 2016 was a member of the same party. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, Qtv News.
Sharing Wonders charity on Monday officially handed over the renovated labour ward of the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital in Banjul. The UK-based humanitarian charity also donated labour equipment to the hospital. Babakar C has the rest of that.
It took the charity organization less than 1 month to give the labour ward a facelift and furnish it with modern equipment. New delivery beds, digital blood pressure machines, examination lamps, weighing scales, among other items, were the equipment donated to the ward. The charity changed the doors, the lighting system, replaced the leaking roof, among others. In his welcoming remarks, the Deputy Chief Medical Director of the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital, Dr. Charles Roberts, thanked Sharing Wonders for the timely intervention.
Months ago, as management, we actually came round here to see what we can do to help to renovate or build up this place. And some of the things that you actually did were identified. But for one reason or the other, we couldn't get to it. And when we heard that there was an organization that was ready to do that, we were very happy. So we want to say thank you very much for this timely intervention.
The Director of Operations at Sharing Wonders, Aman Ali, shared his joy as the head of the charity, while stressing the importance of maintaining the facility and the equipment.
I can't imagine what childbirth is like. So the fact that we have tried our best to enable women who are going through childbirth to do it in a slightly more comfortable way, in a more sanitized way with the right equipment, at least as a father and as a husband, I know what my wife went through. So I'm just glad that actually it's this particular project. It's really, really important. The people that are donating their hard-earned cash towards these projects, they have no idea who you are, and you have no idea who they are. But alhamdulillah, through the grace of God, we're able to act as a conduit to try and channel these funds in the most efficient way possible. And that's the other challenge. When you get donations, are you using them correctly? So we're really happy to see that the equipment we already donated yesterday, it's being utilized. And again, we would urge anyone who is utilizing that equipment to look after it as though it's your own equipment, because that's the other key thing. And as I said, we will try our best, even though we're a very small charity, we will try through the grace of God to see if there's any other help that we can do over time, because definitely we can see the need. Inshallah, we will do our best.
The acting head of the Labour Department of the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, Dr. Abdullah Keita, commended Sharing Wonders, adding that the renovation work is magnificent.
This donation could not have come at a better time. He mentioned women, they did something for women to have been able to have their delivery in a sanitary condition. I think that's an understatement. Because to be realistic, when they were coming, the labor ward was very, very bad. This little intervention has made a major headway.
Fatoumata Jaite, the matron in charge of the ward, gave the vote of thanks.
Our sincere gratitude to the Sharing Wonders charitable organization for renovating our labor ward and equipping it with valuable medical items. A big thank you for the Sharing Wonders. I also wish to thank the management board and the maintenance team and the operations team of the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, who has been supportive since the beginning of the work. I must mention our deepest appreciation to Sister Senabu Wilan of the postnatal top floor for linking us with the Sharing Wonders.
Food packages were also distributed to patients at the labor ward at the end of the event. Sharing Wonders is a UK-based charity organization that sponsors many development projects in the Gambia, which includes building schools, among others. Babu Karsi, Qtv News.
A validation workshop for stakeholders on food fortification standards and regulation was held on Monday by the Food Safety and Quality Authority to sensitize partners and public institutions on the regulatory framework for food fortification. Loli M. Camara has the rest of that.
The objective of the sensitization is to support the public institutions in charge of food control and safety on standardized methods, processes on both the imported and locally produced products. The forum also aims to strengthen public-private partnership for food fortification and biofortification to promote investment in food fortification and ensure compliance with laws and regulations. At the event, Abdul Hakim Jawara, the Monitoring and Surveillance Officer, Food Fortification Project, said it is another milestone for the food fortification agenda as progress has been made to eradicate all forms of malnutrition in the country.
According to the 2018 micronutrient survey, 15.7% of children under 5 years are stunted, 5.6% are wasted, and 10.6% were underweight. 38.2 had iodine deficiency anemia, while 18.3 had vitamin A deficiencies.
Mr. Jawara added that currently regulations for food fortification exist only for salt iodization, while programs for providing supplements like vitamin A and iron to children under the age of 5 and pregnant women do exist, but insufficient.
Security and nutrition in the Gambia through Food Fortification Project aims to address micronutrient malnutrition in the pervasive and sustainable manner through the promotion of production and consumption of fortified, micronutrient-rich and biofortified foods.
Mahmoud Ba, the Director General of Food Safety and Quality Authority, says the benefits of food fortification exercise are crucial.
Looking at the benefits of this fortification exercise is very critical, is very crucial, because when you talk about iron, we all know the importance of iron in our physiology. Our daily lives, the importance of iron cannot be underestimated. It makes us virtually. Also, when you look at vitamin A, it helps in development, particularly in children and even in us adults with our sight, with our daily functions. So it's very, very important. And iodine, we are lucky as a country that we are blessed with a lot of salt. But then let that salt be of good quality. Let that salt bring out all the benefits that we need from it. And that is by just adding iodine into it so that we can prevent ourselves from the disorders and other things related to iodine deficiency.
Mr. Ba encourages the public to take ownership and be more self-compliant.
Ownership. So what we are trying to say is that we are taking this document that we have developed with you and through you, we are giving it back to you so that at least when you go back, you utilize it. All the regulations in it are actually coming from us, so all we need to do is for the business sector to take it and make it a living thing.
The project, which is co-funded by European Union and implemented by the FAO, is expected to last for 48 months, targeting at least 65% of Gambians' population in urban and rural areas. For the most vulnerable communities in North Bank and Central River region, at least 20,000 women, adolescents, girls, and children under the age of 5 have increased access to biofortified crops and are able to diversify their diet with the locally available micronutrient-rich foods. For Qtv News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is Qtv News. Now, a $4.2 million multipurpose center was inaugurated on Saturday at Koina Village in the Upper River region by Koina Charitable Association. Fode Mane attended the ceremony, and this is his story, and it's narrated by Babakar C.
The multi-million-dollar complex consists of over 50-seater conference hall, 2 offices, a guest house, and 3 canteens. Ishaka Toure, the Secretary General of the association, said the funds used to build the center were voluntarily contributed by the natives of Koina, both within and outside the country.
We just organize it by Koinan people. We start in Koina here. Every 3 months, you can give what you want. There is no amount, and again, there is no by force. What you have, you give us. Even $10, $5, 1,000 is how, because of your condition. We start like this, and alhamdulillah, when we start it, first we get support from Koina people, because the first time Koina here, they give us $12,000 or to $15,000. You know, they are farmers, they are agriculture, but they help us. That's why we get courage, and people of America, Spain, and Europe. We get our workers in any country.
Mr. Toure also outlined some of the association's wider aims and ambitions.
We want to improve the International Charity Association. I think you, Jonas, heard about UMMA, what they did in Gambia. Koina organization also, we can do it. This is our goal, to help Gambians, not only Koina, but to help Gambians, to help needs people. This is our goal, is to improve the organization to International Charity Organization.
The Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Musa Drame, recognized the importance of the center and issued a challenge to others.
It is very important to the community. It is also religiously, it is very important, because according to the teachings of Islam, these are some of the good deeds that one receives blessing even after one's death. So it is a very important occasion that we are witnessing here today. My advice first is to other Muslim brothers and sisters to emulate what has happened here today. And also another advice to the people who are responsible for this edifice, so that the proper maintenance of the facility is very important. Putting the structure together is one thing, and the most important thing is to maintain it properly so that it can be beneficial to mankind.
Among its aims and objectives is to provide clean drinking water for the community, to promote education by providing assistance to schools including orphanages, to provide feeding and medical assistance to the underprivileged, and combat climate change by planting trees to protect the environment. The association has recently dug 23 wells, rehabilitated the community Quranic Learning Center, planted over 3,000 trees, and paid the medical bills for 3,000 patients who visited the community clinic. Koina Charitable Association is a non-profit organization established in 2016 to spearhead development projects in the community to support the poor and needy. Other speakers who complimented Koina Charitable Organization for the initiative include Sambaba, the governor of Upper River Region, Sheikh Ibrahim Jaju, the vice president of the Supreme Islamic Council, and Honorable Bilay G. Tunkara, the National Assembly member for Kantora. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Mansakoli Bojang Upper Basic School in Jalambang Village, West Coast Region on Saturday held its Career Day at the school ground on the theme Career Path and Underlining Challenges. Omar Pijalo has the rest of that story.
The goal of Career Day is to introduce students to careers by bringing business partners from a variety of companies and institutions to discuss and share information about their jobs. This will raise awareness and help students in deciding and choosing their career path for the future. Some of the future jobs roles were performed by students in the form of drama, ranging from teachers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, journalists, architects, engineers, security officers, and even airplane pilots. At the event, Amadou Bojang, the vice principal of Mansakoli Bojang Upper Basic School, said it is very important for students to get an insight of what they want to be in future and also the challenges they are likely to face. Sangper Mendy, a banker, said the day is important because many people don't think about what they want to do in the future.
A career is what you love to do, and you can do it freely. You can do it simply, with less effort. Pursue that line. You will make a good career in that area.
Armando Correa, a medical doctor at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, has this to say.
I could remember most of the time during my training in medical school that I go to a point that I can't even have fares to head to the various disciplines at the university to attend lectures. That my parents have to sell most of their belongings. Like I remember my mother selling her clothes just to make sure I get whatever I need.
Aliou Bissien, the registrar at GTTI, also talked about the importance of technical and vocational education.
If you don't exert the amount of discipline that is required and the amount of hard work that is required, you cannot become the professionals or the technicians or the engineers that you would aspire to be. So it will just become a lame talk, meaning just a song that you'll be singing about.
Asanatu Kagbo wants to be a lawyer, Amadou Fati a teacher, Aissatou Jane a journalist, Nyemasata B. Damfa a doctor, Kutubo Hydra an engineer, and Suleiman Barrow a pilot.
Since I was young, I have the passion for becoming a lawyer. I see that a lot of people do not want to go into the law field because people usually say that law is associated with lies. So they do not want to go into the field so that they will not be labeled badly. But I see that that is not the case, even if you are labeled badly and you are doing the right thing. Because if we are not protected by the Constitution and even the criminal code, it will be very hard for us to work. So that is why we also need lawyers as long as we need other professions.
I choose to be a journalist in the future. I choose this profession because I have passion for it since I was young, and I am sure that I can do it with hard work and ambition. And in this world, anything you have to do, you have to have passion for it. Once you have passion for it, it becomes easier for you.
It's so disheartening to see our own African presidents going abroad to receive better treatments, which clearly shows what the low level of our medical standard.
Career Day helps students connect what they are learning in school with the workplace. They listen to experts seeking information about the industry and the career options it provides. After listening to experienced professionals from various walks of life, the students of Mansakoli Bojang Upper Basic School have decided the career path they want to pursue for the future. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar Pijalo.
The Sokoto Village Development Committee, together with its youth, have commenced the second edition of Sokoto Week. The annual program, which is marked by a series of activities, is aimed at uniting the people of Sokoto for community development. Mamadou Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
Unity in development is driving force behind the Sokoto Week initiative, where discussions focus on identifying their common problems in order to find solutions. This is the official opening of this year's program, which, due to the coronavirus pandemic, is held in a low-key manner. It is at least 1 year now since the first edition of the program, from which a multi-million dollars development project was born and followed by a foundation stone laying. The project is estimated to cost about $4.2 million, which derives its funding from residents of the village and is majorly funded by the Sokoto diaspora community. Over 5,000 blocks have already been laid for the project, the progress of which has been greatly impacted by COVID-19, according to the Village Development Committee Chair. We don't completely rely on government for development, one of these youth leaders told me.
Since we started the Sokoto Week initiative last year, we have seen a lot of changes in the village because it has brought us together to identify our problems and share ideas to solve the problems of our community. And that is why we have this Multipurpose Center project.
The Sokoto Week, as the name suggests, will last for a week and it will feature various participants in the community for a series of activities, among which an educational and a women forum are scheduled to take place. The message from all is a common one, and by their plans and objectives, and guided by an ambitious mission, the prospect of realizing their vision looks bright, if and only when unity remains their strength for peace and development in Sokoto. Mohamed Lamin Choi, Qtv News.
And now on to some business news. As COVID-19 forces us to adapt, restaurants are using QR codes instead of paper menus. QR, or Quick Response Code, are a machine-readable code consisting of black and white squares or barcodes used for storing information for reading by a camera on a smartphone. Our CSA in the USA sent us this report on exactly how it works.
In efforts to decrease the spread of the coronavirus, many restaurants are using QR codes for customers to access their menu.
We have the online menus, as you just saw. Before that, we had paper menus. We had to throw them away every time somebody touched it.
According to CDC guidelines, restaurants are advised to avoid the use of shared items and use disposable items or touchless digital menus.
QR menus are way more efficient for us because we don't have to spend on toner and paper as we were doing before.
Martinez states that QR codes are much more effective and are here to stay.
The QR menus are here to stay. Technology is all over us. It's providing easier ways to work and fulfill customers' expectations every time.
Employee at Swanky's Taco Shop, Bowen Baudet, added that QR codes are not going anywhere, especially with the rise in technology.
I definitely think QR scanners will stay as technology advances. We don't have any paper menus that we hand out anymore. We either have it posted on the walls or you can just scan your phone. And I think it saves definitely the environment from saving paper or saving just materials to make menus.
Everything is evolving and every time is going faster. We need to adapt and we will, otherwise we will be out of business.
Although certain clients don't want to use QR codes, Martinez encourages people to learn to adapt because the QR scanners are here to stay. Reporting for QTV News, I am Hawa Sise.
We will take another short commercial break, and when we come back, the news continues with some more international and sports news. Stay tuned. Now on to some sports news. As World Football's governing body FIFA held its annual event recognizing football's best, the headline of the night was that for the first time in over a decade, the top men's honor did not go to either Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. Robert Lewandowski and Lucy Bronze were the big winners. Here is a special report on football's big night.
Bayern Munich and Poland's Robert Lewandowski scooped the men's top award, and England and Manchester City women's Lucy Bronze scooped the Women's Player of the Year award. For once, the ceremony was conducted virtually, and all the winners gave their acceptance speeches via video links. The best FIFA men's player, Lewandowski, said, "This really is something. Messi and Ronaldo have been playing at the highest level for years now, and I'm rubbing shoulders with them. This means that all the hard work has paid off. I wouldn't have achieved this without the team. They're the ones who create the situations for me. It'll take a while to absorb what I've achieved, and I think I'll struggle to get to sleep tonight, but I'm really happy." The best FIFA women's player, England's Lucy Bronze, said, "I'm obviously very happy. One of the first messages I got was from Wendy Renard. We had a little joke that we've kept the award in the Lyon family. It's nice to have that feeling and the mutual respect between players." The best FIFA Women's Goalkeeper Award went to Sarah Bouhadi of Lyon in France, who strangely did not make FIFA's World Best 11. The best FIFA Men's Goalkeeping Award went to Bayern Munich and Germany's Manuel Neuer. The best FIFA Women's Coach, Sarina Wiegmann, said, "Of course I'm really honoured. I was already really honoured when I was in the final three. Emma Hayes is doing a good job at Chelsea, and Jean-Luc Vasseur with Lyon as well, who set the standard worldwide all the time. I was a little surprised, but I'm very happy and honoured with this recognition." There was mild controversy started by Tottenham coach Jose Mourinho, who queried why the best FIFA Men's Coach Award went to Jurgen Klopp, who won a single trophy, the English Premier League, and not to Bayern Munich's Hansi Flick, who scooped 3 awards and 3 major trophies that his team were chasing. It is often said that football is about fans, and FIFA's Fan Award winner Marivaldo Francisco da Silva, the Brazilian, certainly deserves his award. The Brazilian never misses a home game, and while that in itself might not seem much, the 60-kilometre, 11-hour walk he undertakes to reach sports stadiums for every match most certainly is. That remarkable passion and commitment earned Marivaldo a nomination for the FIFA Best Fan Award. I was still getting myself together when they announced me as the winner, so I didn't hear it. But when the staff started telling me I'd won, and I looked at the computer, and I saw Ruud Gullit saying my name, I burst out crying. I was so happy. Thank God, I couldn't believe it was happening to me. At the end, there were awards for FIFA's Best Men and Best Women's 11. Although no player representing an African nation made the final 11 of either the men's or the women's World 11, Africa can take some solace in the fact that Alphonso Davies, who plays for Canada, has Liberian parents and was born in Ghana, and he did make the men's team. The full list of the 11 are Alison Becker of Brazil, Trent Alexander-Arnold of England, Sergio Ramos of Spain, Virgil van Dijk of the Netherlands, Alphonso Davies of Canada, Kevin De Bruyne of Belgium, Thiago Alcantara of Spain, Joshua Kimmich of Germany, Lionel Messi, Argentina, Robert Lewandowski of Poland, and Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal. For the women's 11, the ones who made the list are Cristiana Elder of Chile, Lucy Bronze of England, Wendy Renard of France, Millie Bright of England, Delphine Cascarino of France, Barbara Bonansea of Italy, Veronique Boquet of Spain, Megan Rapinoe of the USA, Pernille Harder of Germany, Vivian Miedema of the Netherlands, and Tobin Heath of the USA. Well, maybe next year, who knows, a Gambia may feature amongst these winners. Let's keep hoping. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. But before we take a leave, let's take a look at our main stories. On his Meet the People tour, President Barrow reached Nyamina East and West. And the tourism minister has encouraged Gambians to come back and register for the next year's election, but says registrations will not be accepted from non-Gambians. At its 2020 Congress over the weekend, the United Democratic Party elected a new executive with Usainu A. and Dabo re-elected as Secretary General and party leader. Sharing Wonders Charity on Monday handed over the renovated labor ward of the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital in Banjul. In business news, as COVID-19 forces us to adapt, restaurants are using QR codes instead of paper menus. We heard how it works. And in sports, a special night as FIFA handed awards to the best female and male players, and for once, the men's award did not end up with Lionel Messi or Ronaldo. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us at 10 for another bulletin. Have a good weekend ahead, and thanks for watching. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching.